Welcome to lesson 149. We're still in the review section. So today and tomorrow we are finishing up. Very excited to always finish up projects. Finish up our review lesson that it's my mind holds only what I think with God. So if we've been doing this consistently, every day we've been saying, my mind holds only what I think with God. Every hour, maybe even. We've been reminding ourselves, my mind holds only what I think with God. This is so important to do because when ego thoughts come into your mind and they're not loving, they're not nice at all, they're mean, they're judging, they're hateful, they're fearful, it's easier to identify them as not you, as not your thoughts, because my mind holds only what I think with God, and God would never think this rubbish, ever. So you can kind of see them for what they are, something foreign from the ego coming in, and you know, you picked it up somewhere, it nicked you, the ego nicked you. And you can kind of just let them go instead of identifying that, like, oh my God, I'm a bad person, or wow, I'm really mean, or oh gosh, I feel terrible about myself. Like, instead of believing those nasty thoughts, you can see that they're not you. So anyways, that's what we're doing this week. Today we're reviewing 137 and 138. When I am healed, I am not healed alone, and heaven is the decision I must make. So when we do our healing work, it benefits everyone because we're all connected, and heaven is the decision I must make. Do you want it or not? Do you want to have peace in your mind or not? Do you want to keep on chasing the ego's desirings that keep you away from your truth? Or do you want to decide and choose heaven above all else? I don't know. I'll get back to you. Jesus, for lesson 149, said, "You are a blessed being indeed." Every day he starts off with these words on purpose. You are a blessed being because you are a divine aspect of God. Jesus said we were created to experience ourselves as this divine aspect of God mind. And when we chase the ego's desirings, when we chase idols, when we see ourselves as sinful, we are in the process of separating ourselves more and more, which creates more suffering. As we are immersed in the material world and deep in fear and confusions, we don't see ourselves as the blessed beings, as the divine aspect of the God mind. And then that does lead to sadness. And the ego mind pretty much gobbles us up then. That's how we get in the door of the ego thought system. We believe that first thought, and then it just sucks us right into confusions and beliefs that we are vulnerable and unvaluable and unworthy and sinful. So instead of believing and identifying with those thoughts as you, that they're true, see them as interlopers. They're just bad thoughts that do not belong in your mind. If it's not loving, it doesn't belong in there. It doesn't belong in your mind. Do not listen to the ego thought system. Do not let yourself get in the door. And the first time you believe one of these bad, sad, judging, mean thoughts, then you're in the door and you get taken for an ego ride. So you need to remind yourself that you are not your mean, sad, and judging thoughts. You are a blessed being. You are a divine aspect of God, and you were created to experience yourself. So connect with yourself in your inner guidance. Go within. Ask your guides and your higher self, is this good for me? Before you make a decision, is this good for me? Connect to the divine and act as a sacred being. Jesus also mentioned that you are going to have lots and lots and lots of undoing to do because we got so deep into fear and confusions and these negative beliefs of the ego. So keep on doing your lessons. It will get easier, will get better, but we will always have more work to do as we deepen our connection to the divine and expand our consciousness. So go within and connect with your inner guidance. You are a sacred being. So this one in particular, so I go to Tina Louise Spalding's channel. I listen and I take notes, and I listen a few times, especially when there are doozies like this. Like, Jesus said a lot more than what I was able to capture on paper. And it reminded me that I did buy this book that Tina and Jesus wrote. Everything that I listened to is actually in this book, but I haven't read and explored this book too much because I want to get through this year of my lessons and like listening, taking notes like a student directly, and then I'll go back and review this. But I just want to show you the reason for lesson 149 that it was so difficult to capture it all is because, pause. It's really long. I mean, it goes onto this and then more onto that page too. And it's word for word what Jesus said, but I just don't want to take notes from the text. I want to hear what I need to hear and draw pictures and have fun with it. But Jesus also said, to go on like the fact that like our work is basically never done. He said, don't feel disappointed that your work will continue throughout your whole life. Your journey into fear has gone deep and your confusions are many. It takes a while to sort out these ideas. That is why this book right here, so shiny and beautiful, this book was written and these lessons have been given to you. Actually, it's probably talking about the Course in Miracles, but this year in forgiveness goes along. Isn't it beautiful? And it's so shiny. I have it on the edges. I know. I can't wait to dive into this book. That's why the Course in Miracles has been given to you. So you can help yourself climb out of the hole you have dug for yourself. Nobody has done it to you and nobody can rescue you. We merely hold up the light for you and say, come this way. The path is clear ahead. So I love my notes. I like taking my notes, but there's just no substitute going and hearing it for yourself or getting this book. There's a good shot of it, kind of. Getting this book and treating yourself to this as a gift. So good. Everything's good. Including my dress today. Look how good. Haha. Pathwaysoflight.org. Welcome to the reading, A Course in Miracles Workbook Lesson 149, Insights. Review. My mind holds only what I think with God. And when I am healed, I am not healed alone. Heaven is the decision I must make. I experience this whole world because I still think the ego thought system offers me something I want. It doesn't seem that this world is of my own making. Certainly, I didn't sit down consciously and dream up the tree-lined lake that my body's eyes see as I look out the window. The world tells me it was there thousands of years before this body existed. To me, it's the illusion of time that seems to make this world so real. If I could really fully recognize that time is an illusion I have made up as well, I believe it would be easier to recognize that all the images of the world are projections from my mind. Time makes those images appear not to come from me. But if all those images occur only now because there is no time, then I can't claim that some seed that sprouted 100 years ago is the cause of the tree I am looking at. My mind is so ingrained with the belief in the reality of time and space that it is still hard for me to fathom that the physical world I perceive is not real. Yet, as I practice remembering statements like, heaven is the decision I must make, the importance I place on the images I see through the body's eyes diminishes. This is a valuable step toward recognizing fully that the world I see is an illusion. I have observed as I work with the thought system of the Course that I make less and less big deals. It's the importance I give things that is the basis for my big deals. If I drop a sock on the floor as I'm gathering clean laundry from the dryer, I simply gather it in and continue on my way with hardly a thought about it. But if I think my worth is based on my tidiness and coordination, I might get upset, call myself a klutz and a slob, and make a big deal out of the simple event of dropping a sock on the floor. The same event is given different meanings based on the belief system I hold dear. As I accept more and more that the sock and all other images in this world are illusions, they become less and less the source of my value and happiness. As I turn away from seeking happiness and value in the world, I become more and more open to making the decision for heaven and accepting God's gift of joy. Affirming that my mind holds only what I think with God focuses my attention on the part of my mind that already knows its worth, its joy. This part of my mind knows its very life is in God, the one source of all that is real. The frustration, disappointment, and depression that come from seeking for value where it cannot be found diminishes. The experience of God's peace and joy and the safety of His love grows stronger. Today, I will practice with gratitude and happy anticipation, remembering when I am healed, I am not healed alone. My healing comes from making the decision for heaven and remembering my mind holds only what I think with God. I recently read a section of the text that reminded me I do not and cannot make decisions on my own. With every decision, we are either joining with the ego thought system or with the Holy Spirit. We are always joining with one or the other. When I join with the ego thought system, I see forms of separation. I see differences within a world of time and space. I see unique bodies. Everything is in a state of change and flux. This world appears to be outside of me. This appearance of separation is the name of the ego's game. When I join with Holy Spirit, I receive a different perception. I am returned to thoughts of unity. I am reminded that all is one. I am reminded to extend love instead of judgment, to see innocence instead of guilt. These thoughts gently undo my belief in separation. I am reminded that everyone is still as God created them, and we are all extensions of one God, one love. I am reminded The images within a world of time and space that constantly change are not worth choosing to see. I am reminded that God is eternal, changeless, and love. And so am I, and so is all that is. I am reminded that these images, which are in a constant state of change, are not real. I am reminded heaven is the decision I must make. I must want to be aware of heaven because my experience comes through my desire. I always get what I really want in my heart of hearts. Today, as I practice joining with the Holy Spirit, I open my mind to healing. I open my mind to the bridge of return to heaven. I open my mind to remembering that my mind holds only what I think with God. God is all there is. There is nothing else. Truth is true and nothing else is true. Image making in a world of time and space are meaningless imaginings and are not real. Heaven is the decision I must make. pathwaysoflight.org. All right, so lesson 149 is such a good review because look at all the things it just covered between the Pathways of Light and Tina Jesus. Like, you look in the book and it's like 2-3 lines and you think, oh, easy peasy. But then it actually blanketed all these different topics and brought them all together. So that's the benefit of reviewing, going back, seeing what this lesson makes you think of in other lessons, seeing what this lesson makes you think of for yourself. Think of what idols are you chasing? What are you valuing more than heaven, right? Where are you seeing separation? Where are you? So that's what the benefit of a review is, to kind of let things culminate, come together, and give you a chance to just go over it in your mind. Yeah. Wow. So anyways, good job. We got one more review day. Thank God. And then we'll be on to some new juice. New juice. Yeah. Lesson 149.